Hello guys, in this video I will show you how to present and illustrate numeric variables using SPSS. And to do that, we are going to be using the variable study from your class survey. And the variable study signifies the number of hours of study per week on average. So when it comes to numeric variables, you really have a couple of choices here. First, you have the histogram, and the histogram allows you to illustrate the distribution of values across the variable. And I would suggest that you always start with the histogram because the histogram, will give you suggestions as to the shape of the distribution, right? Whether the distribution is roughly normal or the distribution is severely, skewed to the right or severely skewed to the left. And those things matter when you're trying to determine, do I present the mean, do I present the median, right? So always start with a histogram, look at the distribution, determine whether the distribution is normal or not normal, and that will how severely not normal it is. And if it's severely skewed to the right or severely skewed to the left, you want to use the median. If it's roughly normal or perfectly normal, you want to use the mean. Anyway, so that's the histogram. Always start with the histogram. Of course, besides the histogram, you also have the descriptive statistics, which is the mean, the median, standard deviation, the minimum and maximum observation, and of course, the range. So let's go to SPSS and conduct these techniques. So first, to do a histogram, you're going to go to Graphs, Legacy Dialogues, and all the way to the bottom, you're going to see the histogram. You're going to bring in Study. And if you like, you can click on Display Normal Curve, and that will give you sort of that limb spaghetti over the distribution, giving you a sense of what type of distribution you're dealing with. So I suggest you always click on this, click OK, and here you have a histogram of the variable study. So here you have, it seems like most people seem to study about 7 or 8 hours per week, yet you have a couple of people up here studying about 25 to 30 hours every week. So the distribution is not perfectly normal. In fact, it is a little bit skewed to the right because of this extreme observations, if you want to call them that. Now that you know that the distribution is a little bit skewed to the right, then you should be wondering whether or not you should be reporting the mean or the median, right? Because the distribution is not perfectly normal. So, but to make a final determination, you're actually going to be calculating both the mean and the median. And if they're very different, that means that there's severe skewness and you want to use the median. If they're not very different, even if they differ a little bit, you want to use the mean. So let's go over to Analyze Descriptive Statistics and Descriptives to calculate the descriptives for the variable study. If you go to Options here, you can ask SPSS what you want specifically. In this case, we want the mean, the minimum, the maximum observation, the range, and the standard deviation. One thing that you will not see here, one option is the median. Unfortunately, to calculate the median, you're going to have to do something else. You're going to have to go somewhere else. So let's click Continue. Let's click OK. And you'll see here that 21 people out of 21 answer the question of study. How many hours per week do you study on average? The minimum observation is 2 hours per week. Hopefully this person can graduate college successfully. The maximum observation is 25. The average is 10. The standard deviation is 7.4, which means that on average individuals are falling 7 hours away from the mean or 7 points away from the mean, which means that there is some, there's a lot of variability, right? A lot of people are studying 2 to 5 hours, some people are studying 25 to 30 hours. There's a lot of variability, and the range sort of shows that the difference between the maximum score and the minimum score is 23. So it shows that. Now you have to decide whether or not you want to report this mean of 10 or you want to report the median, right? To do that, you really have to calculate the median and see how much it differs from the mean. So to calculate the median, you really have to go to Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and you're gonna go to Explore. And now Explore, what Explore does really, Explore gives you everything that you calculated here below, right? But it's gonna give you that, and it's gonna give you even more information, right? And so once you have study into the dependent list, you're gonna click OK, and here it's just going to give you a whole bunch of descriptive statistics. Some of them you know, some of them you don't know. But the mean, you know, 10.6. The median, it gives you the median, which is 9. So the difference between the mean and the median is really 1.6. Not a big difference. So it makes sense, right? The distribution is slightly skewed to the right. So you have this more extreme observations pushing the mean towards it, so the mean is going to be a little bit bigger than the median. However, because the mean is not that much bigger than the median, it means that the distribution is roughly normal, and I personally would be reporting the mean in this case. Now, if the difference was 3, 4, 5 points, then you will report the median, right? So in this video, I showed you two different ways of calculating the same kinds of statistics. In the Explore option or function in SPSS, it gives you the mean, it gives you the median, it gives you standard deviation, minimum, maximum range, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So try them both, see which one you like the most.